So he said that Fidel Castro was of a generation of leaders that sought after an alternative global economic and social order. So that kind of fits in with what we're at. And he added that Fidel Castro will be remembered as a giant among global leaders whose view was not only one of freedom for his people, but for all of the oppressed and excluded people on the planet. So I'd like to stand for a few moments of silence in honor of Fidel Castro.
What's going on is people are waiting for their badges, which is a funny thing because it's there's the youth and women's forums happening. All the participants are here. We cannot get in without an ID, so it's a problem. We should be doing something about this.
Could you describe what's going on?
It's the registration for the HLM2 of GPDC, and it's a little bit of rush, but now I think things are getting clear a little bit faster. So tension's cleared a little bit as of now.
Did you get your badge?
Yes, just now, yeah. And we got it in 5 minutes after waiting for 2 hours.
I think I'm a lucky participant because I only need 5 minutes to get my badge.
But after waiting 2 hours.
Some of you are not clapping, you're not young anymore? Anyway, so let's talk about the emerging issue.
So I think it's very important as we go forward that we include Indigenous young people in the youth outcome statement, because I think we're very distinct in terms of the urgency required to protect not only our culture and traditions, but also the endangered Indigenous languages as well. Thank you very much and have a great conference.
Thank you. So he led me on, it's now Philip.
I think this is a very 2030 agenda. I think I wanted to, by the way, I'm Jitin Yumnam from the Center for Research and Advocacy Manipur in northeast part of India. I think this is a very important agenda, and I think just wanted to stress that it's actually important that when we talk about universalizing the 2030 agenda, I think we should look at all levels, and one of the most important area is to look at how do we translate these at the subnational, at the local level, because that's where, and also to ensure that there is a real participation, there is a process whereby it really takes account of the people and the community who are really impacted by any development agenda. And with this, because we talked about the XLM process, and I think it's really important that we bring into focus the multi-stakeholder process, whereby, I think that is something that we need to take forward even at the community and even at the subnational, at the national level. How do we ensure that there is a real participation and accountable participatory process in the developmental decision-making, implementation, monitoring, evaluation at the community level? How do we ensure that not just the private sector, but how do we ensure that the developmental financiers, the state, advanced companies, how do we ensure that they abide by the developmental effectiveness principles, and I think that's where the issues of accountability and the fulfilling commitments of the states, the multinational corporations, the IFI, all the developmental stakeholders, and I think that is extremely important, to realize the commitment on human rights, commitment on development effective principles, on we talk about enabling environment. How do you ensure that those commitments are I think I also wanted to draw the attention of the Busan principles, where there are commitments, there are agreements, on development effectiveness, on human rights. How do we take forward those aspects? And another very important area when we talk about universalization is, I think it's also important that we review the persisting developmental process, that actually lead to more inequality, more poverty, more, in some case, displacement, marginalization, and in many cases, again, it comes back to issues of enabling environment, unfortunately, there are a lot of progress, there are a lot of achievements, but then there are a lot of challenges in many different communities and states all around, So it's important that we rethink those development process so that it really leads to an equitable, and a developmental process where, it benefits everyone. And finally, like in indigenous territory, for example, I think it's really important that we take into account the real developmental wish and aspiration of the communities, because the definition of developmental process should not be from the top, not just from the state, not just from the defined by the donors, by IFIs, but it should be a process which is really participatory, which is responsible, and which is really accountable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm Vicky Tauli Corpus. I am the UN Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. I just wanted to mention that leaving no one behind is really a motto that applies very much to Indigenous peoples. And I'd like to cite one example from the MDG time. I did a study on the state of Indigenous peoples under the MDGs, and one of the findings that I had was that, for instance, in Vietnam, Vietnam is a poster child, is a poster country of really meeting its goal of having extreme poverty by half. They did it, but at the expense of indigenous peoples, because what they did was they brought lowland people to the highlands of Vietnam, and then they gave subsidies to cut the forest, to put coffee plantations, and in the process they displaced several indigenous peoples who are living in the forest. And so that is a clear example of what leaving no one behind would mean, that you have to really disaggregate the data to show who are the ones who are left behind, even if the country meets the targets that it's supposed to meet. So I hope this is something that will also really be taken into account. Thank you.
Thank you, and I think you very neatly encapsulated there the real shift between the MDG and the SDG era that we're talking about here, so thank you for that.